News 2. More news in less time every time. Today at 5. You're watching CBS 2. Now, Cindy Shue, Kendra Farn, and Linda Church. More news in less time every time.
Good morning. It is 5:30, 59 degrees outside. A live picture of the sparkling lights on the 59th Street Bridge, Manhattan skyline. It is Tuesday, October 14th. I'm Kendra Farn.
And I'm Cindy Shue. In the news, searchers have located the engine from John Denver's plane. They plan to bring it up out of the water today.
And a looming railroad strike threatens to make for a commuter nightmare. We'll have a live report. First, to check on the forecast with Linda.
Kendra, today we'll have more clouds than sun. The high in the city will get up to 70 degrees by tonight. It looks like we'll start to see some scattered showers get into the area. I'll be back in just a minute with the full 5 days ahead. Let's head back over to Kendra.
Thanks, Linda. Now to our top story. A possible railroad strike could derail your morning commute. News 2 reporter John Slattery is live at Penn Station this morning. Hi, John.
Good morning. If Amtrak maintenance workers go out as early as next week, it will not only affect Amtrak passengers, it will affect any passengers who come in to Penn Station. If the threatened strike by 2,300 Amtrak maintenance workers comes off as early as a week from tomorrow, it would virtually shut down Penn Station since it is operated by Amtrak. That would mean huge headaches for commuters on the Long Island Railroad. That means LIRR trains would not come into Manhattan, so many of the LIRR's 218,000 daily commuters would flood the city's subway system. As a result, transit officials are bracing for a crush of passengers at stations in Flatbush and Jamaica. In New Jersey, 66,000 NJ Transit riders would lose service, so buses are being planned. And with the addition of more vehicles on the roads, city officials are analyzing maps of road projects to see what construction work can be suspended during a strike. Now, of course, nobody knows whether or not there will be a strike, but if one were to take place, it would not come before October 22nd, which is a week from tomorrow. This is John Slattery reporting live from Penn Station.
John, thank you very much. Even without a strike, city buses are more crowded these days. Free transfers for commuters using Metro cards have increased ridership. Buses are so popular that the Transit Authority is putting the brakes on a plan to cut bus service. Instead, the TA will boost its fleet of 3,600 buses by 7% to more than 3,800. But the bus buying spree won't come soon enough for next week's threatened strike. This morning's Post says delivery of all the new buses will take until the year 2001.
A big delivery this morning should speed up repairs on the damaged New York State Thruway. Steel arrives today for a temporary bridge to replace the one ruined in last week's gas tanker explosion. It'll take workers 10 to 12 days to put up the temporary overpass. A permanent bridge should be in place within a year. Meantime, the mayor of Yonkers and economic development officials are holding a press conference today. They'll discuss the impact of the damaged thruway on local businesses.
And there's a construction alert this morning on one of our busiest bridges. Starting today, there'll be a detour on the New Jersey side of the George Washington Bridge. The Lemoyne Avenue overpass in Fort Lee is being shut down for repairs. Now, here's the key information you need to know if you take the GW. The Lemoyne Avenue overpass will be closed every night from 10 o'clock until 5 the next morning. The construction will last for the next 2 weeks, wrapping up on October 24th.
One of the men charged in the 1994 shooting of a rabbinical student on the Brooklyn Bridge is in trouble with the law again. Last year, Bassem Rayati was sentenced to 5 years probation for helping shooter Rashad Baz dispose of evidence from the crime. Sources say Rayati was arrested again just a few days ago. This time it happened after police allegedly found $30,000 worth of stolen goods in his Brooklyn apartment. Sources say the case will be presented to a Brooklyn grand jury today.
Also in Brooklyn, a wild gun battle between police and a suspect ended in the death of an innocent bystander. The question is, who killed him? News 2 reporter Lisa Cooley has the story.
This is home video you'll see only on News 2. Video of the chaos right after a shootout in Harlem. A shootout that killed an innocent man. You see 58-year-old Arcadio Guerrero lying on the ground. The assistant building super had just been helping his brother clean the street. Guerrero got caught in crossfire between police and an alleged gunman, 23-year-old Pedro Molina. Police say it all started at West 137th and Broadway. Molina had gotten in an argument with a woman in a cab moments before. Cops on patrol spotted him. They say he shot first with this .38 Colt. Cops returned fire, hitting Molina in the leg. And one of the bullets hit the building super. As paramedics frantically worked to save his life, some cops had to be treated for shock, no doubt questioning whose bullet shot the innocent man. And watch closely. When cops brought the cab driver over to ID the suspect, he kicks him in the head.
Police are still trying to figure out who exactly fired the shot that killed Arcadio Guerrero. Meantime, the suspect, Pedro Molina of Paterson, New Jersey, remains in Harlem Hospital in stable condition. In the newsroom, Lisa Cooley, News 2.
Alleged police torture victim Abner Louima is enjoying some simple pleasures again. Louima's family says 2 full months after the sodomy attack, he can now walk, eat solid food, and watch TV with his family. And relatives say Louima's mental state is improving as well.
He's been able to sleep. He has no more. The nightmares, they're far and less in between. He's mentally stronger. He's waiting to get this portion of his life over with.
Louima's doctor says it's not clear if Louima will make a full recovery. Louima, who was released from the hospital last Friday, will go back in about 6 weeks for a third operation to repair his colon. He and his family are living in a secret location under police protection after receiving death threats.
The Reverend Al Sharpton has a new target to protest this morning, NASA. He is joining environmentalists outside the space agency's Manhattan office today to condemn the controversial Cassini space probe. Bad weather and technical glitches postponed yesterday's scheduled blast-off until tomorrow. But Sharpton wants the mission to Saturn scrubbed permanently because the probe is powered by plutonium and it will fly over Africa. Protesters fear the radioactive fuel could kill people if there was a malfunction during launch. NASA says even if the rocket blows up, there is no danger.
It is 5:36. What a great holiday.
It was. Didn't we have a great day? We had a little bit of cloudiness around, but it wasn't a big deal. And early on this morning, once again, we'll have a problem with some patchy, dense fog. If it's been foggy in the morning where you are the past couple of days, you'll certainly notice it today. Take a look at our live picture. We'll start to get this patchy, dense fog in here. Take a look at our live picture. There you go. George Washington Bridge for you. Mostly clear skies early on. Sunrise today is around 7 o'clock. We do have some patchy, dense fog that will develop as the morning progresses, so that's something to keep in mind. So if you are driving into the city this morning, you need to keep that in mind and give yourself just a little bit of an extra time. Here you go. Here's the forecast for the rest of today. Starting out on Long Island, we have that patchy, dense fog early on. After the fog burns off, we'll have really a mixture of sunshine and clouds. The high temperature in the city, 68 degrees in Fire Island this afternoon, also around 68. With the cloudy skies, temperatures not quite as warm as they have been. Yesterday's high, by the way, was 68. In Manhattan this afternoon, up to 70. Brooklyn this afternoon, 69 degrees. Once again, more clouds than sun, even after that fog burns off. 70 degrees in Piscataway, 67 degrees this afternoon in Paterson. By tonight, we have some rain moving in, and I'll have the full 5 days when we come back. Cindy and Kendra?
All right, Linda, thank you. It's 5:37. Next on News 2 this morning, divers plan to retrieve an important clue that could solve a mystery. What went wrong in the plane crash that killed John Denver?
And doctors use telephone technology to save a woman's leg. Our health reports at 5:55.
You're watching News 2. More news in less time, every time.
Abracadabra, abracadabra. Now there's 2 great stores. 10 Christopher Street in Greenwich Village and the new Superstore, 19 West 21st Street in the Flatiron District. Halloween begins at Abracadabra. We have the largest selection of costumes to rent and to buy. Masks, theatrical makeup, kids' costumes, horror props, wigs, and hats. We have it all and the best quality. Call our Halloween hotline, Masks 45.
When it comes to education, Senator D'Amato knows the liberals are wrong. Our public school system isn't working because liberals have put union demands ahead of our children. Al D'Amato wants to change that. It's time to expel violent, disruptive juveniles so good kids can learn. It's time to let parents choose which public school in their own school district their child attends. And finally, it's time we told the teachers' union to put our children first.
The New York
York Health and Racket Club, a way of life.
Can you believe Christy Whitman hiding behind inaccurate negative ads, distorting Jim McGreevy's record? In fact, newspapers report Jim McGreevy voted to cut income taxes, and McGreevy has not proposed any tax increase. But Whitman keeps slinging mud, trying to hide the fact that our property taxes keep rising. School standards keep falling. We still pay the highest car insurance in the country. And Christy keeps sweeping problems under the rug.
It is 5:40, 59 degrees. Welcome back. I'm Cindy Hsu. Well, today divers in California plan to retrieve the engine from the plane that carried John Denver to his death. Denver posed proudly with his brand new experimental plane one day before it crashed Sunday off the Northern California coast. Hours before, he told friends he was going to practice his landings and takeoffs. But yesterday, the plane was only a truckload of twisted metal.
We'll externally examine the engine. We'll tear down the engine. We will try to reconstruct the airframe as best we can with parts that we've recovered. Some more parts were recovered this evening from the water by the Coast Guard.
Investigators say the probe could take 6 months. Routine tests on Denver's body should reveal if there were any drugs or alcohol in his system at the time he died. Funeral plans for the 53-year-old singer have not been announced.
The plane Denver was flying when he crashed is called a Long Easy. It's a strange-looking plane with its propeller in the back. News reporter Jennifer McLogan went to the East Hampton Airport to learn more about it.
Sidney Steiber built his experimental plane, the Long Easy, 15 years ago. It started with blueprints, a propeller and engine, fiberglass and styrofoam, and ended 2 years later following hundreds of hours of labor.
This is the kind of plane John Denver was in.
This is exactly the plane. It's really an incredible machine.
From the East Hampton Airport, Steiber told us his unusual-looking plane has flown across the country and around the world. He's been a pilot since World War II and says this is as safe as any he's ever flown. Steiber has no inkling why John Denver's Long Easy went down nose first.
I believe it is the most reliable airplane in the air. Bert Rutan designed this. Acknowledged as the greatest designer of our time and maybe of all time.
An experimental plane like the Long Easy is inspected by the FAA for safety, but not certified, meaning a passenger cannot pay to fly in it. 2,000 to 3,000 Long Easies have been built by amateurs from kits or from plans.
Many very sophisticated pilots love to fly this airplane. For instance, there are astronauts who have built this airplane.
Steiber's surprised at the crash of a plane he's grown to trust and saddened by Denver's death.
You don't fly like a bird when you go in this airplane. You are the bird.
From East Hampton, Jennifer McLogan, News 2.
John Denver was not without his problems. He faced a trial on drunk driving charges next January in Colorado. Denver is survived by a son and a daughter from his first marriage and a daughter from his second marriage.
It is 5:43. Time to see what's happening on Long Island this morning. Let's go live to our Long Island Bureau and reporter Trish Bergen. Good morning, Trish.
Good morning, Cindy. Well, Long Islanders may finally get a chance to show their support or opposition for the Lilco takeover plan. Originally, a judge told Suffolk lawmakers that they could not put a referendum regarding the takeover on the November ballot. But lawmakers appealed, and a decision on that appeal could be made as early as today. Students walking the halls of Nassau Community College's new student center may notice some new furnishings. The school was forced to put barricades around walls of windows because of shoddy construction. The school may also have to close the $72 million complex because the windows could dislodge. Reporting live from the Long Island Bureau, Trish Bergen, News 2.
Thanks, Trish. In business news this Tuesday morning, airlines have taken their fare wars to cyberspace. As deals multiply on the web, the airlines are keeping a sharp eye on each other. In fact, experts say as soon as one airline comes out with a cheaper price, another tops it. And that's turned out to be good news for consumers. Best Fare magazine says ticket rates on the internet are 20 to 30% lower than what's currently on the market. For more information, you can log on the magazine's website at www.bestfares.com. That's www.bestfares.com.
After a feeble gain in the Dow yesterday, Wall Street will be looking to Washington today for signs of what's ahead. That's where Federal Reserve Chairman Alan Greenspan will deliver the keynote address at the Cato Institute's Monetary Conference. Meantime, in Japan, stocks were higher overnight. The Nikkei closed Monday's trading up more than 101 points. And in London, gold opened the day down 60 cents an ounce.
It is 5:44, 59 degrees outside. Coming up next on News 2 this morning, traffic and weather together.
And everyone's in action these October days. Basketball, baseball, and hockey. Warner Wolf's Morning Sports Report is straight ahead.
Well, it's a big deal we're talking about. Yeah, big deal. Big deal. Well, I only make big deals. Big deals, honey. I'm a big man. Honey, I do nothing that's small. Uh-oh. Better get Mako.
Car repairs aren't a big deal when you come to Mako. Free body estimates and ambassador paint service for $189.95 are the big reason to say, uh-oh, better get Mako.
You're leaking!
Holy cow, the market dropped big time. Better call my broker and put in a buy order.
You never did follow the crowd, JT. Is that why you're having breakfast for dinner?
Logistics, Cliff. I deliver papers at dawn. No time for breakfast. So, I eat it for dinner.
Try IHOP's best of the best breakfast. Pancakes with strawberry, blueberry, or cinnamon apple topping, eggs, bacon, sausage, ham, and hash browns, just $3.99.
Okay, Cliff. I'll explain supply and demand, but this is the last time.
Don't know who to choose for governor? You know you don't agree with them on anything, so why are you voting for them? Don't waste your vote on Whitman or McGreevey. There's a better choice. Murray Sabrin. New ideas for New Jersey. Lower car insurance through deregulation, more competition, and an end to no-fault. Sabrin. More tax cuts, reduce welfare benefits, less spending. Whitman and McGreevey. Not a dime's worth of difference between them. Sabrin for governor. Finally, someone worth voting for.
Injured? Call us for a free home consultation. Bankruptcy? A team of lawyers is waiting to help. Jacoby and Myers. Problem solved.
The Orioles win. The Nets beat the Knicks and the Islanders tie. Let's go to the videotape. 2-0 O's top of the ninth. And Eric Davis with a home run for the Orioles to make it 3-0 Baltimore. Then Cal Ripken comes up, and there it goes. Base hit left center. Palmeiro scores 4-0. The O's win 4-2. The Indians ended the game with runners at second and third. All right, National Hockey League in Miami. In overtime, the Islanders and Panthers 2-2 tie. Let's go to the videotape. First period, here comes Todd Bertuzzi on the breakaway against John Van Beesbrook, and Bertuzzi scores 1-0 Islanders. Then, low point in the game, Paul Laws with a right hand against Ken Belanger, who will go down, concussion in the hospital. Now, 2-1 Florida, 26 seconds left, regulation. Aisle 6 on 4. Brian Berard ties the game, and that's the way it ended. NBA exhibition of the Garden. The Nets down by 1 at the half. Outscored the Knicks by 23 in the second half. Beat New York 107-83. Knicks played without Ewing, and Chris Childs poked in the eye. Let's go to the videotape. First half. And the Nets in the dark. Stolen right here by Kittles. To the new man, Van Horn. Back to Kittles, who had 14 points and puts it in. Then, returning the favor, Kittles to Van Horn. 20 points for Van Horn tonight. The Nets win it by 24. This is Warner Wolf.
In Monday Night Football action, the Dallas Cowboys tried to catch up to the Washington Redskins in the second half, but their efforts stalled as the Skins beat the Cowboys 21-16.
And word may come soon from Yankees owner George Steinbrenner on where he wants the Bombers to play ball. Steinbrenner's people tell the New York Post the boss will announce his intentions by the end of the year, but not until the mayoral election is over. Steinbrenner is likely to ask that a new stadium be built, either at the team's current home in the Bronx or on Manhattan's west side.
It is 5:49. We've had such great weather the last couple of days. I guess we can handle a little rain. Linda?
Yeah, Kendra, the rain comes in later on this afternoon. This is a cold front sitting right along the coastline later today. It continues to move through our area, and that's the cold front that'll spark the showers late this afternoon, more than likely just by tonight. Behind this system, plenty of sunshine, and that's all due to high pressure. but very breezy and much, much cooler. High temperatures just in the 60s once we get this cold front through the area. Here's a look at the forecast then for the rest of today. We'll fly up the eastern seaboard where you can see plenty of scattered showers on and off throughout the Carolinas, all the way up into the Virginia area and even into New York. That will be late this afternoon on into this evening. Your forecast for today, more clouds than sun. The high temperature 70 degrees. The rain gets in tonight. The low tonight, 58 degrees on Wednesday. We'll have some showers on and off. On Thursday, 59. That's that cool air I was telling you about coming in behind this system. Look at the temperatures drop on Friday, 61 degrees, and then on Saturday, 65 degrees. 5:50 now. Let's check in with Eileen and get the latest on traffic. A little bit busier today than yesterday, I'm sure.
Yes, Linda, you're right. We're back to normal with our usual commuter volume, but we do have accidents, especially in New Jersey this morning. We're going to go to our maps in just a moment. Let's first take a look at the 59th Street Bridge, and this is the usual flow of traffic across the inbound upper and lower decks into New York City. You can see it is building, and it looks about equally slow at this time at the 59th Street Bridge. To our maps, it's another story in New Jersey. We do have delays on Route 206, subject to closure both ways near Somerset Street in Raritan Borough. A serious multi-vehicle accident there requiring a medevac helicopter, so avoid Route 206 at Somerset Street. Also eastbound Route 78 in Berkeley Heights. The left lane is blocked where a car struck a deer, so this is going to be a bit of a while before they clean that up. And south on Routes 1 and 9, watch for a disabled tractor-trailer with a fuel spill at North Avenue in Elizabeth. Back to you, Cindy. Kendra?
Thanks, Eileen. It's 5:51, 59 degrees. Coming up next on News 2 this morning, bad blood flow could threaten your ability to walk.
How doctors are using telephone technology to fix the problem. Our health report when News 2 returns.
Abracadabra, abracadabra. Now there's two great stores. 10 Christopher Street in Greenwich Village and the new Superstore, 19 West 21st Street in the Flatiron District. Halloween begins at Abracadabra. We have the largest selection of costumes to rent and to buy. Masks, theatrical makeup, kids' costumes, horror props, wigs, and hats. We have it all and the best quality. Call our Halloween hotline, Masks 45.
Cats, more than just the #1 family musical in America. Cats, more than just the world's most thrilling theatrical event. Now, Cats has become the longest-running show in Broadway history. Come share in the music and the magic, the mystery and the history. Cats, now and forever at the Winter Garden Theater. For tickets, call Telecharge 212-239-6200 and let the memory live again.
In the race for Westchester County Executive, the choice is clear. You know Liberal Andy Spano wants to raise your taxes. Spano repeatedly called for a new county income tax. And you know Spano even supports huge increases in sales taxes. Ted Dunn is a proven tax fighter. As mayor, Dunn held the line on taxes 3 years in a row, and he's pledged to do the same as our county executive. When it comes to taxes, the choice is clear. Ted Dunn is the proven tax fighter. Ted Dunn for county executive.
Your children have a right to the best education possible. Abe Hirschfeld wants to make sure you have the right to choose the best schools to provide it. Abe Hirschfeld's plan gives parents the right to choose which public school their child attends. It could be the most important decision you make for your children's future. Real choice for parents. Better schools for Manhattan. Brighter futures for our children. Abe Hirschfeld for Manhattan Borough President. Because our children deserve the best.
It is 5:53, 59 degrees. Welcome back. I'm Cindy Hsu. Time for New Jersey news. Let's check in with News 2's New Jersey Bureau. Here's Marcella Palmer. Good morning, Marcella.
Good morning, Cindy. Cutbacks in the State Department of Environmental Protection are putting New Jersey wetlands in jeopardy. The Philadelphia Inquirer reports this morning that an internal investigation found staff cuts and increased workloads are causing huge backlogs in unprocessed applications to develop wetlands. Governor Whitman's daughter, Kate, is getting in on the Campaign Act. Ads starring the 20-year-old hit the airwaves yesterday to let voters know how cool her mom is and how much she loves New Jersey and her family. Recent polls show the incumbent governor is only a few points ahead of Democratic gubernatorial hopeful Jim McGreevey. From the News 2 New Jersey Bureau, I'm Marcella Palmer.
Thanks, Marcella. In News to Your Health this morning, in the prime of life and out of shape, a federally funded study has found that American women between the ages of 40 and 55 are in surprisingly poor physical shape. 55% of the 10,000 women studied say their necks, backs, or shoulders have hurt within the last 2 weeks. and 8% had trouble doing things like climbing stairs, carrying groceries, or walking around the block.
Well, sometimes people who have trouble walking have more serious problems than just being out of shape. Dr. Peter Salgo explains.
That is a beautiful sound to 72-year-old Virginia Bunerkemp. It's the sound of blood flowing to her leg.
First time I could hear that in years. So that was very satisfying.
Virginia could have been forced to have her leg amputated, but she came here to the University of Chicago. Dr. Giancarlo Piano diagnosed her with peripheral vascular disease,
which is blockages of the arteries in the lower extremities, or the legs, if you will.
Surgeons usually make a long incision from the groin to the ankle to replace or bypass the blocked artery.
Because it's also a long incision along the entire leg, the patient's recovery time, their degree of pain that they feel are all magnified.
Now surgeons can make just 2 smaller incisions in the leg. Then they use tiny fiber optic instruments to restore blood flow to that area.
It's performed using very small fiber optic tubes. And these fiber optic instruments allow us to go in the vein and prepare the vein from the inside.
Surgeons modify the valves and close off branching arteries with tiny clips. The procedure puts patients back on their feet in 3 days instead of 7. In Virginia's case, that means back in the pool.
Because I swim on the average of 3 days a week. And before surgery, I was unable to do it. My leg was just cramping.
Dr. Piano says Virginia's leg is doing very well, and she shouldn't have to wait much longer before she returns to full activity. I'm Dr. Peter Salgo, News 2.
And doctors recommend some lifestyle tips to help you maintain good blood flow, stop smoking, lose those extra pounds, and stick to a low-fat diet.
It is 5:56. Linda's here. I think we finally have our fall temperatures.
Oh, we certainly do. Not today. Actually, it's tomorrow that this really cold air starts to get in. And, you know, really cold, I guess, is relative. Certainly compared to what we have had the past couple of days. Temperatures now in the upper 50s. We've got a little bit of patchy, dense fog out there. Tomorrow, that's when you're going to notice the big drop in temperatures. Highs just in the 50s. Keep in mind it's 59 degrees right now. Tomorrow, that's the high temperature. Plus, it'll be breezy out there. You know how it gets when fall's right around the corner. Take a look at our guaranteed high temperature today. The high, 70 degrees. Nobody won yesterday. We were within the 5-degree mark. It was close. The guaranteed high, 72. The actual high temperature, 68 degrees. If you want to get involved in our WCBS News Radio 88 and News 2 weather contest that we're running here, send a postcard to News 2, WCBS News Radio 88, weather guarantee, 51 West 52nd Street, New York, New York. If we're off by more than 5 degrees, we pull a card out of the bin, and you can win $2,000. So that's not a bad deal at all. Just send in a postcard.
Some money for holiday shopping.
Nice idea.
Thanks, Linda. It is 5:57. Coming up on News 2 this morning, commuter woes down the track with word of a possible strike. We'll have a live report.
And a museum that could be yours, all yours. Maury has the story at 6:25.
If you're headed out the door right now for the latest news, traffic, and weather, tune your car radio to 1010 Winds. All news, all the time.
You're watching News 2 this morning.